Good evening, everyone. My name is Bernique Ademola, and this is my PowerPoint presentation for our final project for this class, Introduction to Missions. My project presentation's topic is Mission Survey. What is a mission? A mission is a strongly felt aim, ambition, or calling. It's a Christian vocation or calling to go out into the world and spread its faith to all peoples. What is a survey? A survey is an investigation of the opinions or experiences of a group of people, usually done by asking them questions. To survey is to look closely at or examine someone or something. So here we talk about 5 habits of a global Christian. So I learned this during the course, and here I have a link to Global Frontier Missions. So the 5 habits are pray, welcome, go, send, and mobilize. So for the church survey, um, it was conducted by me. There were 5 questions. So it's a 5 question survey, and there were 10 participants total. The goal of the survey was to bring awareness to unreached people groups and missions. So it's to bring awareness about unreached people groups, and missions. And another goal was to assess the congregation's knowledge of missions and also to assess the congregation's interest in missions. The survey questions were intentionally handwritten. The answers were also handwritten, of course. And I felt like the goal of this was to foster a more personal dialogue and a sense of close purpose. So here are the survey questions. Have you ever heard about unreached people groups? Do you know the difference between missions and evangelism? Are you interested in learning more about how you can participate in local missions within your city? Could you be committed to praying for people of different cultures and religions? And what is the Lord's will concerning those who do not know Him? So as you can see, those were just simple questions. So then after doing the survey and receiving the answers, there was a follow-up discussion. So a post-survey church discussion was conducted where answers were clarified. So answers to the questions were clarified. So here I defined unreached people groups. I also defined what is a missionary. Also, we talked about God's will concerning mankind. And as we can see it on the slide. And the discussion continued with how can we differentiate missions from evangelism, which is very important. Then we're having a conversation about how to get the church involved in local missions. So I introduced the concept of international students. I introduced volunteering, refugees. The conversation started about immigrants and also support in by way of financial support. And of course, I also spoke about the 5 habits as well during this discussion. So this brings us to the first one, which is prayer. So here we have a graphic for prayer for missions. All right, so this really started with me with a personal prayer time. So ever since taking this class, it really just built the desire in me to incorporate praying for missionaries, praying for missions into my personal prayer time. And then next, it was a collaboration with my classmates, which is Sister Jennifer, and the other Sister Jennifer as well. And primarily Sister Jennifer Dixon, who's in my congregation, we did some strategizing and thought of ways that we could involve our local church. We also thought ahead about long-term efforts. Um, of course, we also talked about long-term efforts, meaning like our own personal, individual, ongoing personal prayers. And then we thought of Zoom prayer sessions, including individuals from the church. So we did actually go ahead and implement the Zoom prayer sessions on Tuesdays between 8 and 9 p.m. So it's an hour of prayer that was set apart to pray for unreached people groups, international students, and then we also use the Thumbs prayer guide from Joshua Project, and we have the link right there. So of course, we started by introducing missions to the church. Then we scheduled the prayer sessions. Then we conducted the prayer sessions. And we had a great time doing this. Be welcoming, reach out. So here we are to the next habit. We did prayer and now we have welcome in motion. Now, I was introduced to a Nigerian family when I was in high school in Jamaica. Actually, the dad was my English teacher in high school, and he's from Nigeria. He's a pastor. He felt the call of God on his life to move from Nigeria at a young age with his young wife to a foreign country in Jamaica, and that is exactly what he did. And he moved to our rural area, and he had been there ever since. And he has four children, and then last year, he got the opportunity to move to America for a number of years through an international program for teachers. And so he's in Florida, but on the southern west coast, and we're on the east coast. But being new to America, I was privileged to be able to help him and his family to navigate certain things, like grocery shopping, the public transport system, the American way of life, and they have one son who is special needs. So I was able to help with that as well since I have a special needs child. And their oldest daughter completed a part of her college education in Jamaica. So she's essentially an international student. I was able to help with just with some resources, with programs available for international students and sponsorship for jobs, and also by way of encouragement, ongoing encouragement. So I have some resources there for international students and job placements. Some of them are temporary with a J1 visa and H2A and H2B temporary job programs, but I had so much fun helping this family, and I am still a support for them today. Next, we have go and serve. So I talked about missions at our doorsteps with the congregation on several occasions. This is a concept that we don't have to go far or go overseas to find people of a different culture or religions, because in our city, in our community, we have those of different cultures and different religions. So they have come to us, the world has come to us. So that's a very important thing for us to realize, right? So we continue the conversation about how the church can be consistently involved in local missions. I shared my passion for missions and what I was learning. I practice also sharing my testimony of how God changed my life to church members, and encourage individuals to do the same. This is a part of Go, um, just under the heading of the 5 habits, and in that article they talked about these principles. Next is send, and I kind of put send and mobilization together. So I have send workers in the vineyard, impact through mobilization. So have missions in I have for the church. And so one goal was to have missions be incorporated into the evangelism committee and department of the church. And we have a small church, so I felt like merging that together and bringing that to our leadership would be a good idea, and we have done that. The church leadership and members agree for there to be a focus on missions segment once a month during Bible studies led by Sister Jennifer and I. am so excited. And it is our goal to also continue our Zoom prayer call once a month. So we're working on that. Now the church is also doing something in regards to mission before we even started this class. We have a yearly short-term mission trip to Nicaragua. We've gone 3 times already. We're going to be encouraging local missions involving the general West Palm Beach area, which has to do with volunteering with bridges and different programs, and some of which Sister Jennifer volunteered with recently, and also financial support to orphans in India and women in Ethiopia. That's what our church is already doing. So then I did my personal mobilization, cross-cultural outreach, and this is to someone, a young lady that I was privileged to meet, who is from another religion and also another culture. The photo right here you see with the New Testament Bible and a little jar that is so like inspiring is that's a picture of a gift I gave to her. And I also wrote there, simple gifts can make a difference. A simple gesture can plant a seed. And let me tell you, this was very impactful. So this is a bit about the story. I met an amazing young lady who expressed that she had a desire to know more about the Bible and she doesn't know why. This was like a year ago. She's of a Sikh background from Malaysia and relocated to the US a couple years ago. She expressed that the desire to learn more about Jesus had been growing. I'd met her once before, like I said, a year ago, and I remember she had mentioned the same thing. So this time when I met her and she mentioned the same thing again, I said, you know what? I'm going to be sending you some Bible verses, and I will be sending you some summarization of Bible stories, right? We talked about orality in different cultures. So I told her, I will be sending you information about God and the Bible and about Jesus. And let me tell you, for the past 2 months, it has been amazing. It has also gotten to the point where we have shared so much about God. And she had told me about her friend in Malaysia who had planted those seeds a long time ago. And praise God, they have germinated. She has even said the sinner's prayer. She's so excited. I've invited her to church soon this month at the end of the month. And her husband has said it's okay for her to go. I am so excited to be a part of that. But my final tips and takeaways: be involved. Inquire of the Lord what He wants you to do in regards to mission. Commit to a lifestyle of prayer for missionaries, international students, UPGs, immigrants, refugees, asylees. Give financially to support a long term missionary or a particular mission. Share Jesus in a strategic way wherever you go. Share your testimony when appropriate. Dare to share and make suggestions in church. When seeking to reach a congregation, ask for feedback, reflect on strategies, explore new techniques, set short-term and long-term goals, and of course, think of ways we can adapt. Hallelujah. And my personal reflection, this is just telling you how many hours that I have dedicated to each part of the 5 habits. I was so very richly blessed, and I'm so happy that I could get to be a part of this class. And thank you, Pastor Miriam. Thank you to each and every one of the students. And James 1 verse 27 says, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. I thank you.